Well, hello. Welcome to another episode of Midlife Moxie. I'm Gail,
And I'm Jen.
and welcome, listener. I think there's five of you. Is that right? Welcome. Welcome.
She
No,
is so
really,
nice.
super exciting when you guys tell me, like in our Facebook groups, or if you're just a friend on the street, because I'll tell a lot of people about this podcast when I'm just in social circles and people bring up menopause and things. Because if you don't know our older episodes, do focus a lot on the health aspects, um, hair loss, hormones and stuff. And people will come back and tell me what they listen to or what they're listening to now. And y'all, that just gives me a little joy in my day. I just got to say, but y'all welcome Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Jen
Oh,
today. Jen
nice. Really, it's
has
not that
gone
bad.
outside and gotten herself a little sun here. You're almost a little gold on those shoulders
I
too.
know. I know. You're
This is
so mean to
new.
me.
I know this is new for Jen to have color.
Well, I
I'm
always
full
say, like, I'll be on
on.
vacation and I'll come back and I will look exactly the same. But I would say that I actually have just a little bit of color. Like, you can see it on my nose a little bit and a little bit on my shoulders. There you go.
Well, I'm sporting my summer look today. And those of you who ask if I ever wear my hair down, you should be in our group and you should be on our Facebook groups because you get to see me with my hair down. But we are full on blaze here in South Carolina with humidity of 197. And this will probably be it till at least October, unless someone dies or gets married, and that's still iffy. But I do want to point out a change to my makeup. I'm in my summer beachy, how easy can it be makeup? And
Here we
like the
go.
cheeks, eyes, and lips were done with one product, one stick. And I'm crazy about it. But I wanted to mention that even though I'm a bright, cool deep in the summer, because my skin tone is deeper and it just works for me, I lean a little bit more into my deep than my bright. And that just really works for me with all the black and white I wear. I go into like deep mauves and even dip a toe in a little some brown colors because for me it just like looks really natural and gives me that beach vibe that I like because none of us want to sit around at the beach putting on makeup all day. We just don't. I want it quick, easy, and something that goes along with my tan look and my low key beach island of South Carolina situation. And bright pink just really doesn't work up against this. So I always find me something that's a little more neutral looking. So we both had changes in a week.
All right. So, Gail, what are we talking about today?
Well, I feel like it's something we haven't talked about in a while. And I feel like it is a critical step in looking your best and getting a wardrobe that you love. And where we miss it, it's a step that has to be repeated again and again in different ways. So, what are you talking about, Jen?
We are talking about the closet edit,
Yeah.
how to edit your closet. And this is just a perfect episode that pairs so well with previous episodes. We've talked about transitioning colors for the season. We've talked about um we did something like, oh, how to put outfits together and how to set things up and how to
It's in
organize your
store,
closet,
summer
right?
colors, summer styles. We talked about
Yeah.
so
But we really
many things
haven't
lately.
dove deep in like how do you edit? So organizing is one thing, but editing is a completely different thing. So we're
Yeah,
going to
it's been
dive
over a
deep.
year since we had a really good conversation about this. And
Yeah.
let's start off by talking about why this is important. One, things change. And
Tell me
even
about it.
if you have edited your closet, because I'll talk to people and they'll say, oh, I edited it 2, 3 years ago. I'm like, girl, you need to be editing your closet every season. And this is
Yeah.
why things change, styles change, your favorite colors change, your lifestyle changes, your size changes,
Mm.
just what you like changes, things get worn, torn, lots of things happen. And you're also bringing in new things, most likely. And if you have a very full closet, you definitely need to be constantly weeding out for what you're bringing in that's new, just to keep it from getting chaotic. Now, if you've never done a closet edit or it's been a long time, that may sound overwhelming.
Yeah,
I think that's to a
definitely.
lot of women, but it doesn't have to be. We're going to tell you how to do it and what you are actually doing with it because it's not just cleaning up your closet, it's definitely curating and editing. But there's some psychology to this
Yes.
because I want you to think about when you walk in your closet. if it's stuffed to the gills, first of all, you can't find things. Things are behind other things. Things are have fallen off the hangers on the floor. Um, Jen's doing that thing where you take a drink if it doesn't apply to you. Is that it? With your little coffee cup. Ah, what? But also, our emotions come into play because I know myself when I walk in a closet full of clothes. First of all, I'm telling myself I don't need anything else. I've got all these clothes. Even
That's true.
though there have been times in my life, honestly, that 75% did not fit my body because I've had a lot of various stages of sizing. And I recently have a big change in sizing, but those of you whose weight shifts, you've probably got sizes 8 to 14 in there. And then some things don't work and you forget that they don't work. And when they don't work, we have a tendency to put them back on the hanger. So when we go in there and we see all these clothes, we tell ourselves, first of all, I don't need anything. Secondly, we have a sense of guilt that we should wear all this.
Right.
Then our brain starts spinning, and then we don't know what to do because we don't know what to do with all that stuff in there that's not right. And we usually just retreat back to navy and beige and the outfit we wore last week because that's safe, predictable, and we can throw it on quickly. Because most of us don't have time in the morning to have all these thoughts. We just don't. But when you have a curated, edited closet, it eliminates all the chaos. It eliminates the mental stress. It eliminates the guilt, and it makes getting dressed easy. And what I always like to say to my personal style clients is, I want to make it easy for you to get dressed and hard for you to make a mistake.
Right. Right.
Now, is your closet edited and curated, Jen? Tell
Oh
us
my
about
gosh, no. And in fact, and no, it's not. And as I was doing laundry after the vacation yesterday, one of my go-to blouses that was actually in good condition and was one of my best colors and super cute got caught in the dryer and tore down the back.
Oh no, that's awful.
So talk about curating. Do you know that I still wanted to hang it up? I'm not kidding. I was like, well, I'll just hang it up for now and figure out what to do
I'll
with
just
it
deal with it
later.
later. It's like a deal with it later situation, right? Or we're going to do something about it. We're going to do it. We're going to fix
Right.
it. We're going to change the buttons on that blouse. We're going to take it in. We're going
Uh,
to dye it. Y'all, if it's been sitting there for 2 years and it hasn't been done,
yeah. I have shoes that have been sitting there for 2 years that are put away neatly, but it's taking up space. Like when you fill your, when the closet's full, like Gail said, doesn't mean you don't need anything. It just means you haven't made space for who you are right now. And that might be very different from 6 months ago. My tastes are constantly changing, and things that I thought I really liked a year ago, I don't really like them anymore.
when you women in midlife, your life is likely changing.
Yeah,
Um,
right?
and it can change in a lot of ways: size, lifestyle, where you're going. You're not attending kids' soccer games every week because
That's
those
right.
of us have got kids. You know, when your kids are in middle school and high school, sometimes that's your social time is you're going to the soccer game or the hockey game or the volleyball tournament. And you know, when they graduate, a lot of times that comes to an abrupt end. You don't even need those clothes anymore. So just because you needed it once doesn't mean you need it now. When I stepped away from a long-term business where I attended a lot of conferences and did a lot of speaking, I no longer needed all these suits I had. And at first it was kind of like weird. So we're going to talk through the steps when you have those realizations.
Yep.
So first off,
I'm excited.
and my number one tip is you have to set some parameters. And those parameters should, of course, start with the things we teach: color, style, shape, size, lifestyle, and preferences. And you need to be clear about those, even to the point of writing them down on a piece of paper. You can even make it poster size so you remember. And the things that do not fit in this need to go. It's just like if you have your kitchen full of baking equipment and you don't even bake a pancake or whatever, make a bake
Right.
refrigerated biscuits, you can get rid of those Cuisinart, bread baking accessories and make space for the things you really do need. And then you can get to them. It will reduce stress, but the parameters are the beginning. So you've got to ask yourself and get really real too about things like size. Take your measurements, your current measurements. And this is
Right.
something people hate, Jen. Like, when's the last time you took your measurements?
I haven't in a while because I put on a little bit of weight especially since we've gotten the puppy, we haven't gone to the gym nearly as much. And so, to my surprise, when I started to figure out what I wanted to pack for the cruise this time, things did not fit the way that they used to fit. That was super frustrating. And I'm not taking measurements, but the thing is, unless if I stay this way, I'm going to need to probably get some better fitting clothes that fit.
Well, and I'm going to encourage you to take the measurements, ladies. None of us enjoy it unless you're on a big weight loss program. None of us enjoy it. It's not fun. And even when you're losing weight, the measurements still are weird and wonky and it just doesn't feel good.
Right.
But
Because we put weight on in the
it's
middle now when we're in midlife.
critical.
Right.
Yeah, it's critical and it's facing reality. We're big girls. If we've made it to this age, 40, 50, 60, we're big girls and we can handle some numbers.
Right.
And that's all the measurements are. They're numbers that are going to help us shop better and evaluate what's really in our closet and see what's really changed. Because sometimes what we think has changed is not what's changed.
Right.
We
That's the truth.
also ignore our bra measurements. We're still
Mhm.
wearing the same bra from Victoria's Secret from, 2021 and things change. So y'all be real with yourself about it. As
100%.
hard as it is, get the numbers, face the numbers. It's gonna, I tell my clients this a lot, it's gonna feel worse before it feels better.
But that's the thing too, is that we put so much judgment on ourselves because of stupid numbers, that the only reason the numbers are important is just so you can find the right size in the store. Like, it shouldn't matter. I mean, it's between you and yourself as far as your health and how you feel physically. But if the numbers should not be the reason that we are so hard on ourselves. Like, it's just a number and you don't have to tell anyone. But imagine if you have clothes that fit you just right. You're going to feel like $1,000,000 regardless if you are super skinny or
Very cool.
curvy. It doesn't matter. It's how you feel when you put those clothes on.
No matter what size you are, you're going to look better in clothes that fit you.
Right.
So some of you are like, I'm not buying any clothes right now because I've gained some weight. Well, girl, you going naked? I mean, come on. We have to face the reality and deal with it.
Yep.
We can do hard things. So looking at the shape, looking at the size, looking at our current life. Once you get these parameters in place, they're not only going to serve you for the edit, they're going to serve you for the future shopping. So I think it's critical. But that way, we're going into the closet knowing what we're looking for, and that makes it an easy yes and no instead of just, oh, do I like this? Like this, don't cut it, guys. That doesn't curate a
It
closet.
can if you just simply don't and never wear it. That does
You
count.
can like it and it not fit.
Well, yeah, that's
So,
true too.
yeah,
But
like
I
it
do
is
want to,
not
I
the
do want to say,
parameter.
I do want to say something about the lifestyle. So you gave everybody, the bullets for the evaluating each piece of clothing. And I think that some people get a little bit caught up in this style preference category, because color, okay, if you had your colors done by us, you know your colors and you know your size, because you can do your measurements, you can do your size, right? And lifestyle, you should know your lifestyle. Are you active? Are you actively retired? Are you no longer going to the office? You are in the office.
I
You
mean,
know,
certainly there. Some people have romantic visions about the life they
it's
want
true.
versus the life they're currently living. And they shop based on things they like and would want to wear somewhere. But when they're
Right.
honest with themselves, they're not going anywhere to wear that.
100%. That's a good point.
Question. I ask my clients, I'm like, and I always say, where are we wearing this?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's a great thing. Cause I mean, I don't go buying everything, but I see so many things. I'm like, oh, I would love to wear that. But the reality is that my lifestyle, I work from home. Joe and I go out on a regular basis and we cruise a lot in the hot weather. So a really well-fitted suit, I could maybe pull off once a year at a speaking gig at the appropriate gig. Like, it doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
for me, but somebody else, it might make perfect sense. So
But I think I have people argue with me all the time, like, I don't need a dress. I don't go anywhere to wear a dress. I'm like, you ever going to a funeral, wedding, and those in your life? Oh, well, yeah. And I'm like, this is a big concept to be real about your life in totality. And to get the pieces before you actually need them. Do you know how many? I had a
Oh,
client last
agree.
week. God bless her, and I love her. But we had 5 days to get her 2 dresses for Las Vegas, cocktail
That's
dresses, and she's tall. I could have choked her, but we pulled it off and she looked like $1,000,000. And that's what a stylist will do for you. But don't test us like that because the market may not participate with us. We did it. But people will come up with a funeral to attend. And funerals happen fast these days. In the old days, we kept bodies longer. But I mean, you may be visitation tomorrow, funeral the next day. I mean, these things move fast and you don't have time. And what happens when you go shopping then is you wind up with a it'll do piece. And then you're stuck with the it'll do piece and you feel guilty about buying the good piece because you've got an it'll do piece.
right. Because you're only buying it at that point, you're only buying it for the funeral or the special event. But if you had thought ahead of time that you might have a few special events over the year, you could buy something that you really like, that really flatters you, and it will be very appropriate for all of those events. And of course, you can't plan for a funeral. I get that. But if you have something lovely that you
Says,
feel nice in, that you feel is appropriate, you could wear
one of my
it.
tenets is you buy it when you find it.
Yeah,
And
I
people get
love that idea
weird
very
about
much.
out of season clothing or something that's not happening for a few months. And they don't understand market and that you may not can find that when you
Right.
absolutely need it for the
That's right.
next week.
Yeah. If you
So
love it and obviously if the price needs to be affordable for you personally, but that word afford is very interesting because how
I'm
many
talking
times, Gail,
about
have you heard someone say, I can't afford that? But then they turn around and they will either spend their money on something else, which, who are we to judge? But it's not really about affording.
a
It's
judge.
about your priorities, right? It's about
You
what
crack
you
me
really
up.
want.
My girls will say, "Oh, that's expensive," and then the next week buy a similar thing for the same price or
For the
more.
price,
Because
right. So
I
it's
love
really,
it.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to tell anyone out there listening that, I don't believe you when you say you can't afford something. I do believe you. There are many things out there that maybe that's way out of your price range. I get it. But if it's in your price range, consider investing in yourself,
Be
even if it's a nice
honest.
piece.
Say to you, and if you need to say it to others, it's really none of their business except your stylist. I don't want to spend that much on that. Say
Yeah,
that.
I would agree completely on that.
We lie to
So
ourselves and others about what we can afford. And there's things to invest in, but we digress. So
we
back to
digress because the one point I was going to make, we never got there,
a
was
shocker.
we not lifestyle. It's not lifestyle. I know, right? Shocker. This is how we talk all the time. Everyone who's listening, we literally our working sessions tend to go forever because we never can stay on topic. It's like we would drive everybody else crazy. But no, I was going to talk about your personal style. I think this overwhelms a lot of people because they may not have a stylist, um, which they should. They should totally, everyone should call
Good.
Gail. But even if you don't, the idea that you're somehow supposed to know your personal style, I think is overwhelming and I think a little bit misunderstood because I feel like a person's style evolves over time. You may feel like you have no style. You may feel like, well, I only like casual. Well, you can start somewhere and then start to educate yourself. And you might notice that after a while, you're like, wow, I really like these floral, flowy dresses. Okay, well, if you look that up on Google, you'll find out that you kind of like a bohemian kind of style, a little bit of a,
Romantic.
nature romantic style. That's all you need to know. It's just the words. All you need is the words. It doesn't need to be something so definitive. Just put down a couple words of things that you just really like. Like you like you like rolled you like turtlenecks. I don't know. You like floral designs. You don't like floral designs. You like ruffles and whatever. I just start somewhere and you'll have the words at least to help yourself to help guide you. Because if you're someone that is loves ruffles and florals and lighter colors and just really likes that just overall vibe. Like Gail, not Gail, but if you are like that, if you happen to have a black leather jacket in the closet, maybe it's not doesn't fit your rest of what you've got, and maybe that might be something to, you know, unless your stylist tells you you can make that work and you can pull it off.
Also, don't confuse liking something and appreciating its beauty for what is right for you. There's a
Right.
lot. I walk into stores and shop online all the time, and I think I've told you all this so far. I have an audible gasp about beautiful clothes. I mean, I will be sitting on
Yes.
my bed at
And
11
makeup.
p.m. and just go, oh my gosh, it doesn't mean that's for me. That may be for one of my clients, but it's not for me, but I can still appreciate its beauty. So don't be confused by something that's beautiful and lovely or fun if it's for you. So
Right.
let's talk about taking those parameters and going into the closet.
Yes, let's do that.
If you've ever studied Marie Kondo, I really like her method.
I do
And
too.
everything is coming out and every piece is going to be touched. It's really the only way if you need a deep audit. Now, does it mean you have to take every single piece out at once? Sometimes that's space prohibitive, but you can still take it out in sections. But it needs to be done in a very compact period of time, or you lose your place, you lose your gusto, you lose your definitions, your mindset. And
Yeah.
this needs to be like probably something you do on a weekend or
Yeah.
whatever. And I did this a few years ago. Every piece of clothing was gone through in my closet. Every single one was touched and handled and evaluated. It takes way less time than you think. You forget what's even in there stuffed under.
Oh
And,
my gosh, yes.
but I believe in starting with what we wear the most, especially if your time poor and that's going to be restrictive. Start with your daily. These are the things I wear to work and in my life daily. Pull all those out and handle them one at a time and really look them over, assess them. Ask yourself when's the last time you wore it. Ask yourself if it meets the parameters. Ask yourself if you even like it anymore. And
Right.
decide, because here's the magic. It's one thing to take things out of your closet. That feels like a heavy lift in a way because it's taking something away. But if you take everything out, then the lift is what am I willing to put back?
Right.
And so the psychology becomes do I like that enough to put it back in my newly edited, refined closet?
Yep. Because when you're done, it should start to feel like you. And you might have gaps at that point too. You might be like, oh man, I narrowed it down to only have two pairs of jeans, kind of a thing. Well, that's okay. But acknowledging and understanding, and if you listen to how to build an outfit, you'll start to identify where some of those gaps might be. It would make your shopping experience so much more pleasant if you knew what you were looking for versus I'm going shopping for shoes and you come back with the same ones you'd already had, and that's not what you really needed. You really needed some sneakers, and you came back with some, loafers. I don't know, but it just, you know, um, that really helps. I did
You're so
this.
going to find the things that have fallen behind, fallen down, that you put in a box, that were on a shelf. Because some of us, like, I have a tight closet. People think I have some big, expensive closet.
Right.
It's walk-in, but it's small. I live in an older home, and I don't mean like antique older, but like 1980s before
Yeah.
they started building
I don't
these
have a whole
closets.
lot of room either, but I did my drawers in my dresser last year. And the goal was for me to obviously go through everything and I found things and socks and like I'm a runner, or at least I used to be a runner, but I run a lot and I have these really, really nice socks, really important to me. And I found those. I found all kinds. I like took, I like half of my workout stuff and got rid of it because it was tired and sad, but still left myself just enough. So I have like a workout drawer. It's the only thing in my bedroom that's super organized that I've kept that way.
Priority to you. But when I did my last closet edit, my big one, I went through pajamas, I went through
Yeah,
undergarments,
you
I
gotta
went
go do that.
through
Yeah.
grocery and socks. I went through everything, including jewelry. This sounds so overwhelming right now, but I'm telling you, the accomplishment you're going to feel and the sense of cleaning it all out. It's a good time to dust your shelves and your shoe
Yeah.
containers and all that too. Vacuum good in your
Yeah.
closet. It's going to feel so fresh and good, and you're going to know that everything in there is wearable.
And
Now,
honestly, it is also, I mean, it is a little bit challenging to say, do I really want to get rid of this? But I feel like it's kind of the opposite. So if you do what Gail says, what Marie Kondo suggests, and you truly remove everything from that space, then you've already done it. You've already removed it. You've already gotten rid of it in a
it is
way.
too. I want to put it
You
back.
want to put it
I
back. And that
promise I will
mindset
change
is
everything.
so critical because now you're looking at a blank tray for your jewelry. Now you're looking at all, space. And do you really want to put the broken set of earrings I've been sitting there for 2 years back in there? Because I'm notorious for this, so because I broke, I'll just deal with it later. Like, do you really want to put it back? No, just get
No,
rid of it.
you don't. And so you just start a pile. You start a discard pile. Now, what you do with your discard pile is totally up to you. You can resell, you can give away to family and friends, or you can donate. That's totally up to you.
Yeah.
But I'm going to encourage you to make that pile, take it all off the hangers, put
Yep.
it in. I had these huge bags, got them from QVC years ago. We use them everything from lawn care to when I clean up closets. In fact, we keep one in a guest room closet.
We
And
do
when
too.
I'll to get to that because that's follow up. But we drag that joker to the Goodwill and drag it out of our car and they dump it and it's gone. These things need to leave your house as soon as possible to get that feeling of relief. No second guessing. And y'all, the pain point is quick. You think you're going to lay around in agony about what you got rid of, girl. You ain't even going to
You're gonna
remember.
forget because you didn't
You're
wear them
not going to
anyway.
remember because you weren't wearing it anyway. So
Right.
everything is out, everything goes in. I will tell you that this is an amazing time to invest in the velvet felt hangers from
We love these
QVC.
hangers so
There's
much.
only one kind, Joy Mangano. I'm riding with Joy on these. I have tried them from Marshalls. I've tried them from Amazon. They broke. They don't twist. They're not pretty. Joy, part of the beauty of hers is you can pick out the color of the little hook, chrome or brass, and then the color of the hanger. And y'all, I don't know why I get things in my head that feel luxurious to me and make me feel like I've made it in life. And when all my closet hangers matched, I'm good. I've finally arrived in life. But these hangers do give you more space. They take better care of your clothes. You won't have the pokey things on the shoulders. Your pants don't fall off and they don't twist upon each other as much. Trust me, my clients who do it love it and it is beautiful if you're an aesthetic person. So it's a great time to order up those hangers and just redo that quickly. And I've done mine, my husband's, it's all matching. I gave all the ones I did not like to children in our family. And, it's just so good. It's so good. And now's the time to do it. If you have anything that needs to be altered or repaired and you're truly going to do it,
You're actually gonna do it. That's right.
and it needs to happen the next week. You're taking it to the seamstress. It's happening for real. And otherwise, just say, you know what? I'm not willing to pay for that. And I'm not ever going to haul it over there. I'm just not. Do it. Identify anything that needs to be dry cleaned or have some stain removal, or if the stain removal is worth it. So only things that are going to go back basically are things that are ready to wear and ready to go. And you start to put those back. But again, every piece is going to go through your parameters to decide if it goes back. Does this still suit my life?
So we're going into we're not, we're in the summer right now. We're in June, but what month do you recommend people start doing this for the fall
I
or
recommend
change
the
of
beginning of
weather?
each season. The beginning of each season, because that's going to identify what's missing and what you need to be on the lookout
So
for.
like
Like
top of September, basically.
people will
Well,
get ready to go on vacation and pull out a swimsuit and realize it has dry rot. Because that's the thing, y'all. I launder my bathing suits. I don't let them lay around wet. I take decent care of my swimwear. I don't put them in the dryer, all that. And they will still get dry rot. It's a thing with that material. And people will wait till vacation and pull that swimsuit out and they put it on and it starts to beginning of season, if you check your swimwear, and this is falls in our follow-up edits, which we'll get to in a minute, it allows you to take advantage of what's available in the season rather than having to make a desperate attempt in July. If you're waiting till July to buy a bathing suit, babes, newsflash, they're gone. There's very few places that carry them year round in what you want to get.
I think also it's really important to when you're doing all this and this whole effort is to honestly write down all the things that are going to happen with between the next 4 to 6 months that you know of. Because, for example, I could do the edit with fall, winter in mind when at the top of September, but I'm actually going on a cruise over Thanksgiving. And so therefore, I need to be thinking also about, do I have the right clothes? Where do I put the things I'm going to need to pack for warm weather in the middle of our very cold fall and winter? So there's things that I feel like it only takes a minute, but don't like
Yeah,
make
look
sure that
at
you're
your
taking care of
calendar.
all
Look
the things
at
that your
your social.
lifestyle, right?
The other things you want to consider is, okay, I want you to have a piece of paper and a pen, or have your phone if you like, if you're a digital person, as far as taking notes.
Right.
And as you come across things that you need to replace, or that you realize, I don't have this anymore, go
Right.
ahead and put it on a list.
Right.
What you're doing is curating a shopping list for the next season. So when that gray pair of black slacks that actually will fit comes in your size, your preferred style, and the right price point, you can grab those. You think you'll remember, you won't. Trust me, put it on the
Yeah.
list.
There are shopping lists and style masters, I think, right? We have the whole closet re something.
It's just a good time to know what you need to get and want to get, but note it somewhere, guys, or you will absolutely
I
forget it.
really like that, Gail. I really do. I like that a lot. I think my husband needs to do that. The guy who creates lists for everything, he is the most impulsive shopper I've ever seen for himself. So now he has he must have 30 button-down shirts that he does not need or want. I don't even,
People can be so impulsive they come home with something they realize they've already got. If you're
that's
just
the other thing too. It's kind of laughable. He'll be like, "What do you think of this?" I'm like, "You have that." He goes, "No, I don't." I'm like, you do, you have it. And there's one time he actually bought the exact same shirt, like same brand, same everything.
oh, get on my calendar, dude. When are we going to do this? It also helps you shop sales because, like, we're preparing for the big Nordstrom sale, which is one of the most stressful 2 weeks of my life is the Nordstrom sale. But we beat that like a drum. But it allows you to go into a sales situation because sales can be overwhelming, especially if it's across the board sale or a huge sale like Nordstrom does every year. Like some of my favorite makeup brands have been having, like, one of them had 40% off this week. And I was a little bit like, because there's just so much and your brain gets confused and you often don't make good decisions or you don't make a decision at all and you just walk away. So having that shopping list allows you to go into the season and know what you're looking for ahead of time and kind
Yeah,
of stick to that unless you're working with a stylist that's restocking your closet.
right.
But that's part of this. The other thing is things that no longer work for your life. I want you to ask yourself, can they be repurposed? People are really quick to look at a business suit that they used to wear and say, I have no use for business suits anymore. But wait. Is that a pantsuit? And can we salvage a great pair of slacks out of that? Can we salvage that jacket and wear it with a t-shirt and jeans?
Right.
Ask yourself, can this be repurposed? If it cannot, and it does not serve another area of your life, then that's when it needs to go
Right.
or be sold. Or I love giving things to people. So if I have a friend and I can give something to them, I'd rather do that than sell it probably. I just love that. So think about what you can do with it. The other thing I want you to be very cognizant of are sentimental attachments.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sentimental attachments are fair, but know what the sentiment is. If the sentiment is this is related to a person or event that I loved and I do not want to let go of, that's fine. Put a garment cover over it and put it in the guest room closet and keep it. Like I have a gown that one of my children was christened in. I also have, you're gonna laugh this. My husband and I have been married 27 years next month. I have a denim shirt that was his when we were dating. Now, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about that shirt and its history, but just think of some sexy romantic times with this shirt. And losing weight recently, I've always kept it because even if I couldn't button it, I wasn't letting go of that shirt. I love it. It's frayed, it's tattered, it's old school Gap though, so it was quality, and it just I think he wore it on our second day. And when he came down the stairs, because he had picked me up on his way in from his office, and then we stopped at his place for him to change. It was the moment I'm like, Okay, okay, baby. And that shirt just has special meaning. It's never leaving my closet. And when I
Oh,
lost
that's so
weight
sweet.
recently, I came out in it to wear it to bed one night. I'm like, looky here. It's a great moment. But things that you do want to let go are things that involve guilt.
Yeah.
My cousin Sally gave this to me at the Christmas white elephant game. That is not valid. My sister gave this to me because she didn't like it or it didn't fit her. Not valid. That's the only things you keep because they work. And you have to remember a lot of times when people give them to you, they were willing to let go of it.
It was
So
probably like a
you need
regift.
to keep it, baby. So gifts can be difficult. And if your husband gave it to you, you can try to find a way to wear it sometime that pleases him. But there's also times that you can just slip it out the door and he will. Do you think he's keeping up with that
No,
velour tracksuit
no.
he bought you for Christmas 2 years ago? No.
But honestly, though, if it's someone like your husband that got you something, I speak because Joe buys me tons of stuff. If you don't like it, just tell them. Like they
Be
mean well,
honest.
but just
Be honest. Say,
like
honey, it's just not working.
I'm not gonna wear this. I thank you so much, but can we just go back and get something different? And I'm pretty sure that they would be willing if they spent $50 on something. I'm sure you can go get something else and return that one piece for something that you would actually prefer.
Bottom line, guilt is not the reason to
Yeah,
keep.
exactly.
Sentiment, deep sentiment, yes, but store those things somewhere if you're not going to be wearing them actively. Go ahead and put them in protective garment covers and store them somewhere. So I think that gives them some good ideas on getting it out of there and getting it out
Mhm.
of the house. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about that this is an ongoing process and it can be ongoing in two ways. You've done this major
Oh,
cleanup,
this
this
is why you come back to it. I know what you're gonna say. Yep, go.
and this is great on a white rainy weekend to do that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And if your partner is one that you can engage him to help you, or a sister or a best friend, so that when you're in the floor making decisions, they're taking it off the hanger and bagging it up for you. Yeah, two-tone, and you could even make a deal with a friend. Girl, I'll help you if you help me. It'll make it go much faster and feel much better than if you're up and down, find the bag, do the hang, and it can get really dusty, so you may want to wear a mask and be prepared to tidy and clean the area. But sometimes I even put on a good movie or series and just sit in my
Have it
bedroom
in the
floor.
background. Yep, yep.
Oh, it doesn't have to be terrible and boring, but this is a repeated process on a smaller scale. So that was really a full on clean out edit, but we're going to re edit every season or a life change. Now, what does that look like? You can be constantly editing your closet. Like my husband instituted a policy when his closet was full of if I bring home a new garment, something has to go out. If you are a person that likes things in tidbits rather than big jobs, that may be the best way for you to keep your closet intact for the most part. You bring home a new shirt, you go through your shirts and find one that can go. And he loves doing that and it keeps some balance in his closet. He brings home a new pair of jeans. He gets the rattiest pair that doesn't fit or has a hole or is wearing thin. And those go ahead and go out. That will create a lot less stress. It's very easy. It's on the spot. It's 1 second. You even put it on that same hanger and boom, you're good to go. And let me just tell y'all this, if you don't have enough hangers, buy the extra set of hangers and quit trying to squinch. It drives me y'all. It's not that. And here's what I do. My policy is when I take things off the hanger, you can do this two ways. The hanger stays there to remind you where that goes in your organized closet, which we talked before about organizing by department, by color.
Yeah.
You can leave the hanger there. I prefer to put my hangers in the empty hanger section of
Yeah,
my
I have an
closet.
empty hair section.
And I have a place for that. I've gone to people's closets, they have all kind of empty hangers everywhere. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Because then when you're doing laundry, you can just grab a stack, take them
Yep.
to where you do your folding and sorting, hang the things up and go back. It's very simple. And you train your spouse that the empty hangers go here. Plus, it keeps them from getting all over the closet and lost and all that. But if you're doing a seasonal edit, you're going to go back at a mini level and apply these same parameters. But before, you're going to ask yourself if anything's changed. You're also going to ask yourself, is there any new? And this is the thing I do with my clients. You can tell, I can tell you, we do a call with each one that are on my monthly program and stay with me for years. Are there any colors that are getting your attention this season that you want to try to add? because the way I work is we start with a trio or a quad of color, and then during the seasons and as we go forward, we add little pods of color that mix back in, and that's how we create that cohesion. So I'll ask my clients, is there any color you want to add? And I typically do this after we in our Style Masters group have discussed the Pantone palettes, because we've told y'all before, the Pantone palettes are what you're going to see in the stores. It's going to be what's available. Because I've had clients come to me, I think I want to add blah, blah, blah. Well, that blah, blah, blah is not in the stores right now, sweetie. We are not going to find you anything in blah, blah, blah unless it's one random t-shirt at Marshall's.
Right.
So look at the seasonal colors that have come in, what's trending, and ask yourself, of these, is there something I want to add? And look at the current trends, which if you're in our Style Masters program, we do a lot of this for you. We tell you the trends, we tell you the colors, then you can make your decisions. Mm-hmm. But say gauchos are trending or Bermuda shorts. Ask yourself, which of the trends am I intrigued by and would want to add a piece or two this season? Then that goes on your shopping list. Then you're going to, by that same token, ask yourself, what's really a faux pas right now? Like what's really out of date or doesn't feel like who I am right now? Call that out. Have there been any lifestyle changes? Call that out. I'm not going to hockey on Tuesdays anymore. Whatever it is, do that little mini edit. It shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes and your closet stays preserved, and you never have to do the massive part again unless you move.
Or unless you just really want to and need to. But I keep a bag.
Though, if you stay on top of it and it's not overcrowded, you can keep it clean. You can do a vacuum once every few months and do a little shelf wipe down on all the stuff. It really becomes maintainable. And I believe in maintaining rather than creating disasters for yourself.
Joe and I both keep a very large bag in our closet. The way our closet's set up, it's a little weird that we actually are able to actually have it off to the side, so it's not in the way of, you're not stepping over it or anything like that. Their closet is not actually big, it's awkward, so it's weird. But so the way that we operate is that we grab something and put it on, like especially Joe, he'll like put something on, he's like, I don't really like this anymore. Then we immediately just take it and just put it into the donation bag. Done. Right.
You do not put it back. You do not throw it down in the closet floor.
Right. Just put it in the bag.
And it's torn, you don't like it. Just because y'all, sometimes when we get in our closet and try on things, we remember why it doesn't work. And if you've tried something on 2 or 3 times and you can't make it work, it's time to let it go.
Right. So having something there that you can easily deposit that item into makes things a lot easier than feeling like, okay, I can't deal with this right now, so I'm just going to put it back on the shelf for now, and I'll deal with it when I do the clean out. Well, if you have a bag there, I am someone that is, I'm not naturally an organized person, so everything needs tricks for me. So doing something once and then trying to stay on top of it is an extreme challenge for me. It's just how I operate. So I have to have tricks. For me, if I have something there that I can immediately do something with, that works so much better than I'll deal with it later, because later might be never.
Everything has a place and everything has a system. In my house, my daughter was here this weekend, our daughter, and she laughed at me when I said department, because my husband didn't have the pool floats in the garage all in the same area. And I explained that you can't have 2 pool float departments. They need because here's my belief about departments. If you have departments in your home, you don't have to remember where you put everything because it's in its department. So you go to that department, it's going to be somewhere in that department. My husband's wanted to just slide stuff into drawers to get that out of the way. And I'm like, wrong department. Now you can't find it because you got it memory. So with your clothes, you think of them as departments as well, but you also have this system and it has a place to go. Things, and you can do the same thing. You have a bag for dry cleaning, and these can be shopping bags, guys. Bag for dry cleaning, a bag to donate, a bag to go to your seamstress alterationist person. That way you just pick them up by the handle when you're heading out the door this week, or you hand it to your husband, say, hey, on your way to the office, drop this at the dry cleaners, drop this at the seamstress. Or if you're going out for the evening, I'll say, okay, let's grab that bag from Goodwill and chunk that in the car and go ahead and drop that off on our way out. And it will feel so good to do that kind of maintenance and have a place for everything Trust me. And these things don't have to be expensive. Like what I keep my earrings in might have cost $10. And I've got earrings that cost exorbitantly more than the $10 the container did. But it works for me and it gives them a place. Everything having a place in your closet, just like everything else in life, will make things run much more smoothly. You know exactly where to go and get it. So, what else about editing, Jen?
I'm going to say something, but this is only just because it's just me.
Oh, Lord, I can't wait. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, if you're ever wondering when an edit is appropriate, even if it's in between seasons or you haven't even made it to the next season, if you can't walk into your closet or step in without stepping over three things, it's time. It's time. And I laugh because
All being honest, we all get in a hurry sometimes. Like there's times
rush
that I take off a
just
pair of shoes
stuff.
and I don't want to put them back where they go, or I have to move something. And this is a great thing about organization. If it's piled up or you have to move something to put it behind it, it's not going to happen. It'll get put in a pile.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah.
yourself 30 minutes on the weekend to tidy your closet a little bit. Just go in there and see what you did over the week. Because especially if you're a busy working mom or just busy getting to the office, you've got to commute, it can get a little chaotic. But that also falls under a very good practice of weekly preparation. We've talked about this before.
That's right.
Sunday evening, you spend 20 minutes putting your outfits together, spend 10 more minutes, 15 more minutes tidying up the closet from the week before, and you are set up for success, ladies, because there's nothing worse. And I've done this, gonna confess, that you're looking for a garment that you're wanting to wear right now and you're
Yeah.
tearing your closet apart. It's in a pile of some things that you threw off one day because you didn't take the time to hang them back up. These are things not that you're getting rid of, just that you decide not to wear it right now, but you didn't take the time to hang it back up and you didn't.
I'm notorious for this.
And it's at the bottom of that pile.
Yeah.
You don't know how many times I've done that.
It drives me, I drive myself crazy because I had certain things in mind to pack for my trip. And it took me entirely too long to figure out what the heck I did with them because I'm notorious for pulling things out that I'm going to wear and then go, nah, I'm not going to do that. So I put them on my dresser and I will eventually hang them back up. But then, like you said, something that you're looking for happens to be underneath it. I drive myself crazy. Like I know I drive myself crazy.
Your schedule needs, and it's so packed during the week that you need to have a little box or a little basket in the corner that is rehangs or things that need to be re-put back. Do that. Make the system. Just create a system that works for you.
Exactly.
That's
exactly. But I'm good. That was extremely helpful for me. It makes me inspired. I hope the listeners are inspired to do some of this work because we are in a kind of a phase right now in my house where organization needs to happen starting this weekend because both my kids moved back in.
The fall.
What?
I'm going to be up there in the fall.
I know. I go, we can't meet. We'll make room for you then. But just so both kids moved in. So, and they made the foyer the dumping ground of things that have no home.
Closet's going to get done one way or another.
Oh my gosh, she's threatening. Listeners, if you're hearing me, save me.
Send out.
Email me at support@yourcolorstyle.com. I need help.
Jen is the worst to give y'all all this advice and absolutely never go shopping for herself. The absolute 100% worst. She is terrible. It's just to be forced. Either I do it or Joe does it. That's it. Okay, so one other thing we didn't want to talk about, I want to throw in before we close, is people who have to rotate their closets seasonally because some of you have such temperature extremes and have such limited space. You really do have to put those winter garments in storage or your summer garments in storage. When you do that is the perfect time for the edit is when you make that rotation.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and ask yourself, do I really want to haul this to the other closet? So go ahead and slide that in. Also, if you need to do that, don't feel bad about it. Just have ways that work for you. Like, how are you storing? Make sure you're storing it where it's not exposed to moths, because I've had more than one client get their things out for the next season, and they've been in a closet that got eaten by moths, and they have beautiful sweaters that were lost to the moths. So make sure you really study about how you need to store your things based on the climate you live in. If you're putting things like in an attic, like it gets so hot in South Carolina, like things melt in attics here. I mean, it's some, and like, don't plan to go to your attic if you live in South Carolina in, July. If it's up there in July, it's probably staying up there. And that's where we keep our suitcases. We do have a nice walk-in attic. We have to go upstairs to the loft, but we do get to walk in. He's not having to climb a ladder, but I always make him go get the suitcases because the minute you open that door, it just smacks you in the face. So plan if you need to do that, plan to do it before it gets too hot or too cold if you're working in an attic or something like that. And do your seasonal turnover, leave transitional clothes, leave a few pieces, because if you're like it is here in the South, we have first summer, second summer, third summer, and we have dips in between. And then in the fall, we have the thread of fall, maybe fall, actually fall. So have some transitional pieces that just stay in your wardrobe all the time that can work during those seasons when you're having to do that turnover, because there's nothing worse than storing all your out of season clothes. And if you really have a very good budget and you really have some very nice pieces, you may even consider them for professional storage so that they are climate controlled. You can get climate controlled storage, dry cleaners to do storage. So that's an option if you are on the higher budget end and you just need these things really taken care of. They will take care of them and they'll come out ready to wear next summer, next spring, whenever it is fall.
I like it. All right.
Get your undergarments. Don't forget your pajamas. Don't forget your jewelry. Some of y'all got some ratty underwear in the bottom of that drawer that you wear when everything else is dirty. Get rid of it and order 3 more pair of underwear, y'all. Just do it. We waste pennies on things that cause us stress, and I
agree.
Yep. Quit causing myself stress. Buy an extra bra for pickleball, so you have to have to worry about if it's clean or not. Things like that. We will spend money on big things and save pennies that just cause us to absolutely stress out. Some other things you might do if you have some space is get yourself a rolling rack. That's great to clean your outfits for the week. They're also great for hang up dry clothes in your laundry, so they're not hanging over shelves or chairs or whatever is in your laundry room. Get yourself a rolling rack. They have them now that break down and just store if you're not.
That's one of ours. We have that too. Stores nicely.
And you can get one for 30, $40 off Amazon that will suffice for you. But they're a great way also when you're doing your closet edit, pull out that rolling rack. And especially if you have a 1-story house, you can just roll it all to the next closet rather than having to carry it. And another tip when you're moving, like we've moved locally several times as well as long distance. When we've moved locally, and I'm doing a lot of it myself before the big movers come, I just carry my hang-up clothes in my car on the hangers. They don't go in boxes. I just take them from one closet. I make a run to the second house and hang them right up into the closet. That is the easiest method. It really, really works. And I have even taken drawers out of chests and just take the entire drawer to the new home myself, and then let the movers move the big one. So I don't have to empty the drawers, because movers usually make you empty the drawers. So just some little tips.
All right. We're good. Any last words then, Gail? Because I think we're good. We can wrap it up.
I will just say, make shopping part of your editing process. When you bring things home, try to try them on as soon as possible. Hang up what you're keeping. Don't throw it back in the bag or the corner. Go ahead and hang it up or put it in your laundry room. That's another part of maintaining your closet. And the things that are going back, put them back in the bag, put them downstairs by your door or in your car so that they go ahead and get returned. It's my final part. So we want you to get in there. If you haven't done it in a while, look for the next rainy day, rainy weekend in your locale, and go ahead and do your summer, and then be on track to do a good one in the fall. Go ahead and plan that for a nice fall weekend. Maybe you're watching a football game or something, and recruit that help. Recruit that girlfriend that loves to do that stuff, especially if you hate organizing. Call your friend that loves it. She will be your best for that. So until next time, what do we always say, Jen?
Go get your Moxie on.
Bye now.
Bye.